Hey everyone, it's Marissa and welcome back to my channel. If you've read the title, then you already know what this video is about. We are making beef stew. It is beginning to feel like fall by me and I am so excited. Fall is by far my most favorite time of year and I thought it would be fun to kick it all off by sharing one of my all-time favorite fall dishes that I make every single year during the fall and winter months, and that is my hearty beef stew. I love this recipe. It's warm, it's cozy, and it also makes a lot of servings. We're gonna make a huge batch, so it's really good if you need to feed a lot of people or if you just like to have a lot of leftovers lying around. It keeps really well in the refrigerator for like up to 7 days, but it also freezes really well. So if you don't think that you'll be able to eat it all in that time frame, then after it's done and cooled, then you can like place it in like multiple food storage containers and then put it in your freezer. So that way, during your busy weekdays, you can, for dinner, you can just like come home, pull one out of the freezer, reheat it, and dinner's ready to go. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get started. But before I do, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give this video a big thumbs up and let's go. So what you need in order to make this recipe is, of course, beef stew meat. So I have 2.5 pounds here, which sounds like a lot, and it is. Again, we're batching this. If you don't want to use that much, you could probably get away with just using like 1 pound to 2 pounds, that sort of thing. The next thing that you will need are some carrots. So these are pretty large sized carrots. I have 6 of them. If you do not have as large carrots as these, maybe use like 8 to 10. It really, again, doesn't really matter. Just use what you got. The next thing that you will need is a large onion, 3 to 4 cloves of garlic. You'll need 5 baking potatoes. The next thing you'll need are some frozen cut green beans. This bag here is 32 ounces. I'm gonna use a little bit less than that, so probably about like 24 ounces. The next thing that I'm going to put in there is some red wine, whichever is your favorite, you can put in there. It just really adds to like depth of flavor, but this is optional, you don't need this. The next thing you'll need is some beef bouillon to add some extra flavor. We are also going to dredge each piece of the stew meat in some flour along with some spices. So we're just gonna use some regular all-purpose flour for that. And then we're gonna put in some garlic powder, onion powder, and then salt and pepper.
So the first thing that we are going to do is to prep all of our produce and our vegetables. It is just so much easier later on when all of this is just ready to go. So the first thing is to peel the carrots, and then when you are done with that, then you can go ahead and peel your potatoes. When you are done peeling your potatoes, go ahead and rinse them under the sink, under the faucet, just to make sure that you get all the dirt off because they can be quite dirty. And you don't have to be perfect about it. You just kind of want to get the majority of the peel off. But if you like the peel, then you can leave it on. I just prefer it off in this recipe. Now we are going to mince our garlic, and the easiest way that I have found to remove garlic from its peel is to do what I'm doing right there. Otherwise, I find that it's a real struggle in order to remove the garlic from the peel. And it's just amazing, as you can see, at how quickly the garlic comes right out of the peel. And then you can start chopping your garlic, and as you can see here, I like mine to be pretty small in size, so I will just keep chopping it until it is to my liking. And then we are going to roughly chop our onion, which I like to do by slicing off each end and then removing the outer layer of the onion. And then what I like to do is slice the onion in half and then turn it on its side, as you see there. And then I like to slice into the onion about 3/4 of the way through. First vertically, as you see, and then I like to slice it that way also horizontally, because then when I go in vertically to chop the onion, it really gives me a nice rough chop that I'm looking for, and it just saves me a ton of time, and I found that it's just the most efficient way and easiest way to chop an onion. So go ahead and repeat that process for the other half of the onion, and then using your knife, you can kind of pull all of the onion together and give it another good last final chop, just to make sure that you didn't miss any. And the last thing to chop are the potatoes and the carrots. We're gonna leave them fairly large in size because the stew will be cooking for 2 hours. So I'm just slicing the potatoes in half, and then I will be slicing the carrots in about 3 to 4 inch size pieces. So now that the vegetables are all ready to go, we are going to prepare our stew meat. So as I said at the beginning of this video, we are going to dredge each piece in like a flour and spice mixture. So we are just going to prepare that now. So I did a 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour in a bowl, and then I'm gonna add in some garlic powder, some onion powder, and some salt and pepper. The full recipe with all of the exact measurements is on my blog, and I will leave a link for that down below in the description box. Using a spoon, give it all a good stir just to make sure that it is all well combined. And then you can kind of set up a little workstation for yourself. And it seems like it would take forever, but I think this took me about like 2 to 3 minutes. You kind of just get into a rhythm and you just kind of get it done without thinking about it too much. So anyways, take each piece of meat and dredge it in the flour and spice mixture and then place it in a bowl. Then you can bring that over to your stove, and then we are going to brown each piece of meat in a little bit of avocado oil. I also like to set up a large pot that I'm going to cook the stew in as well, and then get the onion and the garlic sauteing while the meat is browning. Now you can of course just brown the meat in the pot before you add in the onion and the garlic. The only thing that I have found is that the meat tends to stick to the bottom of the pot and it can get kind of frustrating. So I have just kind of learned over the years to just kind of, brown the meat in the frying pan and then just add it into the, big, stew pot later on after I have browned the onion and the garlic. And so you can try cooking it each way and just see which way works better for you. Now the goal with the meat is not to completely cook it in the frying pan. We just want to brown each side, and then we will add each piece into the pot where the stew will be cooking. Now, once the onion and the garlic is nice and brown and sauteed, we're gonna add some water into the pot to make sure that it doesn't burn. So what I did here is not what you should do. What I did was I just took the pot over to the sink and I added some water in straight from the faucet. I would recommend measuring the water, which I will have the exact measurement down below, on my blog with the full recipe, because I ended up putting in a little too much water, as you will see later. It's actually pretty comical, so I left the clip in for this video just to make it a little extra funny. But anyway, so yeah, I would add maybe like 4 cups of water right now. And then what you saw me doing was I took my spoon and I was trying to kind of stir the bottom of the pot to get all of the little brown bits up because there's so much flavor there. And then what we're gonna do is start adding in the meat as it's done cooking, as well as our carrots, our potatoes, and the cut green beans. But as you will see here, because I added in too much water, I had trouble fitting in the potatoes. So I ended up having to take some of the stew broth and veggies out of that big pot, and I added it to a smaller pot just so that it will continue to cook, and that way I had a little bit more room to add in my potatoes. And then what I did was just basically, as it was simmering away and it kind of the water started to evaporate, I had some more room, and then I eventually got each pot to combine together so that it was just again a one pot meal again. But anyways, you will see that later on, and it's pretty funny. The next thing you want to do after you add in everything is add in the red wine, and then just give everything a good stir. You're going to want to stir this every once in a while, bring it to a boil, and then reduce the heat so that you can allow it to simmer for the full 2 hours.
Hey you guys, don't mind my fan vent thing there, but anyway, so I ended up putting in a little too much water. That's what I get for not measuring, which I will have the exact measurement down below as to like what you're supposed to do. But I was trying to just skip a step. Anyways, what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to take some of the water out of it so that I can get my potatoes in there. Because right now there's no way, especially when this thing starts boiling, it's a goner. So I guess that's my lesson for not measuring the water. But anyway, so 1 second and I will have that fixed. Okay, so I got the potatoes in there. It's still pretty full. So all of this that I took out right there, that's all good stuff, and I am not wasting that at all. So I was just like, what am I gonna do? Do I just wait until this thing boils down? But plan B, I'm just gonna put it in here And as soon as like one of them boils, like reduces a little bit, then I'll just add them together, which this is not going according to plan. And I planned this, but you know what? We're just going to improvise, and you know what? It is all about the recovery. Okay. So I'm sure one of them is still gonna boil over because that's just my luck today. All right. And so we'll just cover them. Bouillon. And I would say the bigger one is gonna get like a good tablespoon just to start off with. And then as it cooks, I'll check it again, and then if it doesn't have enough flavor, then I'll just keep adding it according to taste. You know what? I'm here. Let's just do 2. Let's just do it. It'll all be okay. All right, and then we'll do a little tablespoon here. Hey you guys, so it's been a little bit, and the beef stew has been cooking and simmering away, and they both pots have reduced a little bit. So I think it is time to try to put them back into one pot again. So I'm going to try to do this. I hope I don't mess up, but if I do, at least it's on camera so we can all laugh about it. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know what I am talking about. All right, we are officially back on track, and I can show it to you now as one pot, and it's cooking beautifully. It's gonna turn out well, despite my excessive amount of water. The real problem isn't even the water, it's the fact that my pot was not big enough. That is the real problem. If you guys have made it this far in the video, then thank you, and please give it a thumbs up just to like help me out here. So anyways, appreciate you, and I will see you guys in a little bit. So basically what I'm going to do is just keep letting it kind of boil or simmer away here. I can't talk anymore. I'm gonna let it simmer away here. I'm sorry about the fan, by the way. I can't control it. Anyways, I'm gonna let this simmer away for a little bit longer, maybe like another half hour to an hour, because I really want all of the meat to get nice and tender, and I want the carrots to get fork tender as well. So everything needs to kind of keep cooking. I doubt I'm gonna need to add more water, but if you didn't add as much water as I did and it's starting to get low and like starting to stick at the bottom and stuff, then you might need to add some more water. Don't worry about the flavor. You can always add some beef bouillon in, which is what I will be doing if it needs more than the 2 tablespoons that I already put in. But yeah, so anyways, I'm going to go ahead and let this keep going, and then I will show you guys what it looks like when it's all done.
Okay, so this is what mine looked like right when it was just about to be done and I was about to shut the flame. I did want to say that if it is not thick enough, then you can always add in a little flour and water, which I explain in just a moment. But otherwise, there you go. You can add it to a bowl and enjoy.
Alrighty, you guys, so thank you so much for watching this video. We have finally come to the end. It is just about done. I did not need to add any flour into this. I thought it was thick enough and I really liked it. But anyways, so thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give this video a big thumbs up, please, 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 if you liked it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.